Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer 40k Mordian Glory videos. So today's video we're going to be taking a look back at 2018. What was it like for the channel and for Warhammer in general? And we're also going to be taking a look at my plan for 2019, where I want the channel to go, where I will be focusing my efforts. So starting off, 2018 was a really good year for the channel. Doubled in size, which is crazy. Got over 4,000 subscribers now, and videos are regularly hitting sort of 1,000, 2,000 views in between that mark, which is really good. You know, it really motivates me. Every view, every like, every comment that you guys put down there, it's really good. I really appreciate it, and I have to say, Patreon really took off in 2018, and Patreon's a really humbling experience. It's really, you guys really come out there and you show your support, and it really just it's going to sound a bit soppy, but it does sort of restore your faith and humanity a little bit. People's generosity and people's just willing to support something and putting their money behind it. Yeah, it's crazy for me. You know, when I first launched it, I thought I'll be happy if I get sort of £5-10 a month, something that I can use just to subsidize, you know, a box of Warhammer here and there. And the result is, you guys have, you know, my Patreon supporters, you guys are amazing. You know, without you, my channel, and without the Patreon supporters, but also without every view that I get, the channel wouldn't be where it is now without you. It's been able to subsidize me going to tournaments, getting a new camera, getting new terrain, and expanding my collection and being able to buy books and being able to buy models that have been able to allow me to, you know, go to tournaments, try out my tournament tactics, and come back here and relay that stuff to you. Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. So I have to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you to everyone who has supported this channel, not just in 2018, but in general, from the beginning. You know, you guys are all really awesome. And I tell you what I've really noticed in 2018, which is I've always said that I want my channel to be like this, you know, repository of information. It's not just about me. I mean, my videos obviously are there, but I almost feel like the biggest part for me is the comment section. When I release a tax video, you know, I cover as much as I can, but 40k being what it is, there's so many different angles. I don't always cover everything. I try, but I don't always cover everything. And what I've noticed is that there's so often people put down comments saying, you know, really good video, have you considered XYZ? Or a thing I like to try is ABC. And it's really good. And I think half the knowledge, half the information that someone gets from my channel is in the video, and the other half is in the comments. And that's what I've always tried to build. You know, so the channel's never really been about me. It's always been about the Imperial Guard and the community. And I feel like that's really what we've begun to achieve in the last year or so. So yeah, really, you know, and that's all down to you guys. You know, it's all down to us helping each other out as Guard commanders. You know, we haven't had it easy. We've had it easier in 8th. But at the beginning, you know, we never, you know, in 7th and 6th, we didn't have it easy. And in 8th edition, we all came together, and the channel definitely has started to become more of a, you know, this is the place to go if you're looking for Guard tactics. And that's exactly what I want. I've always wanted it to be. A place where a newer Imperial Guard player, or someone who's getting back into it, or even an old war veteran who might need a fresh perspective, can come to the Mordian Glory channel and get some information. And honestly, 50% of that at most is myself, and the rest of it is you guys. So thank you. I appreciate all the support. Like I said, every comment that you guys put down there is absolutely awesome. But yeah, thank you to all my viewers. Thank you to all my commenters, subscribers, and of course, most of all, thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You guys are all awesome. And like I said, the channel has doubled in size, and that's all down to you guys. It's all down to you guys. So thank you. So now I've got all the stoppy bollocks out of the way. Try not to get too emotional on this one. 2018 was a really diverse year for me when it came to hobbying. My Black Templars, my Gene Stealer cult, my Steel Legion, all these things took off and developed, and I learned a lot about a lot of different armies. So it wasn't intentional, but 2018 was kind of like the year of Armageddon, as in the planet Armageddon. I launched my Black Templars, completed them, and that taught me a lot, that project. It made me really appreciate Space Marines. Now, for the longest time, I, like many other players out there, poo-pooed Space Marines. I thought they were a boring army. I never collected them. I thought they were a boring army with no personality, and only noobs collected them. And then I started reading into the Black Templars, and I just fell in love with them. They're absolutely batshit crazy bunch of motherfuckers, but they really have a huge amount of personality. And it's one of the things. It's one of the first times that I've actually enjoyed the established fluff of something that Games Workshop has produced. Normally, I like to create my own fluff. Yeah, I find stuff that Games Workshop produces, I can't always get into it. But the Black Templars, oh man, I love everything about them. I really, really do. And I immerse myself in so much of their background and their lore and their fluff. And what it made me realise is that Space Marines are not one-dimensional. Space Marines are actually really cool. They are. There is nothing quite like a Space Marine out there. Yeah, Space Marines in 40k in general rips off a lot of stuff, but Black Templars especially, they're just so... They spoke to me because I wanted... For a long time I've played Imperial Guard, but there's always been that itch at the back of my mind to play an assault army, and I have always been quite a big fan of the assault, which has led to many admittedly glorious, but ill-fated bayonet charge on my part. Many times when I should have just held the objective, I have not held the objective. I have bayonet charged. And what my Black Templars allowed me to do was to really embrace that assault element, just to go all out. I'm going to run up to you and I'm going to chop you to pieces, and it does. And I don't care if I win. I just care that when I get to the end of the game, you know that I was the Templar player. And that was the big motivation behind collecting the Black Tide. It's something I'd always wanted to do as a kid. I'd always thought it was really cool. Black Tide, 100 Marines, I want to do it. Second motivation, sort of behind, another motivation, well, not second, but one of many motivations behind my Black Templars, and something I really wanted to explore in 8th edition, I really wanted to push it, was two things. There's this sort of myth that Space Marines are bad. Space Marines are a bad codex. Okay. And secondly, everyone said that Hordes were really powerful in 8th edition. So why not take a Horde of the best? Why not? Why not do it? We're playing 2,000 point games. We can fit a lot of Marines in a 2,000 point game. And I think I managed to complete both objectives. Number one, Marines are not bad. There is this ever-prevailing myth. And again, admittedly, it is on the cesspool that is Daka. But there's this ever-prevailing myth that Space Marines are in a bad position. And they're just not. Are they this top-tier MLG Pro Tour 360 no-scope winning codex? No. There's only one codex out there that can do that, and that's Dark Elder, and they're bullshit. But are Space Marines bad? No, Space Marines are never going to be bad. They are the baseline to which all other armies are compared. Yes, their codex came out a little early. They were one of the first codexes, but what I mean is they're suffering a little from early codex syndrome. But Guard came out early, and we're doing fucking fine. Your Space Marines are not bad. They're just a solid mid-tier. And I can say that because I have a Space Marine. I have a Black Templar full Black Tide army. I've taken that to multiple events. And I have never had a whitewash. I took it to ITC events. Black Tide, 100 Marines. Regularly, if it was a 3-day, a 3-game 1-day tournament, I would win 2 out of 3 of my games regularly. In fact, I can't think of a 1-day tournament I took my Black Templars to, which I didn't win at least 66% of my games. I'm trying to think about it now, but yeah, there you go. I mean, Space Marines are still good. They're not amazing, but they are still good. And Black Templars are so cool. And the whole idea of being able to run a Black Tide and it being effective, it's just great. It's just absolutely great. So yeah, I really love my Black Templars. They were very refreshing. They were a very refreshing change of pace. And another thing which, moving on, another thing which I really explored this year, was my Armageddon Steel Legion. Now, the original motivation behind me getting into the Steel Legion was, well, my Mordians were looking a little battered. And, I mean, to be fair, most of them were painted when I was pretty young. And I don't think a single one of them was undercoated. So the paint job was pretty bad, even if it wasn't painted by, 15-year-old me. So yeah, I needed an army that looked good. And I could have repainted my Mornings, I could have done, but I wanted an excuse to explore an avenue of the Imperial Guard which I hadn't ever really got my teeth into, and that was Mechanized Guard. And the weird thing is, it's one of the most popular variants of the Imperial Guard. It is probably more popular than pure Infantry Guard. I'd say the most popular version of Guard that you come across is at least semi-mechanized armoured Guard. And I realised that I had a lot of theoretical knowledge, and I have a lot of outdated knowledge. I didn't have a lot of 8th edition information. And again, it was almost like a challenge. Because again, there was this prevailing sense online that chimeras and transports in general were bad and they were pointless. And again, it's just bullshit. What I learned is that in 8th edition, any army is viable. If you have a theme and you commit to it and you learn your army. You really, really learn your army. And I really fell in love with my Steel Legion. My 234th 234th Mechanized Infantry. I really fell in love with that army, and they're so good. I've got them in a case. I've got them all sorted out. They're in a big army case. They're completed. They never get unpacked. They just, that case is their case, what I'm saying. And whenever I'm just not sure what I'm going to be playing, whenever I'm just a bit rushed for time, I'll just grab them. I'll just grab the case, go to the club, done. Grab the case, go to the event, done. And they're a really, really good army. And learning mechanized tactics, it gave me an entirely fresh perspective on the Imperial Guard. And this is one thing it made me realise, is how varied the Guard are. Like, you have armoured, you have infantry, you have airborne, and you have mechanized, and you have a whole mixture of all 4. But they're all Guard, but they all play completely differently. And I'll tell you one thing that my Steel Legion taught me, which even my Black Templars didn't teach me, because I was collecting whole Black Templars, was not to squander my manpower. My Steel Legion army, I've got 60 infantry, not including characters. 65 if I include characters. And the first few games I played them were really rough. And I thought, fucking hell, the rumors were right. Yeah, these guys are shit. But I've committed to it now. I've bought everything. I've bought most of it. And what I realised was I was committing my infantry too soon. And I still made the mistake. If I take a little break from my Steel Legion, I don't use them for a month, and I come back to them. First game I played them, the first mistake I make, get my infantry out, all my infantry out, turn 2, they all die, I lose the game. And every game with my Steel Legion, where I keep my infantry back, and I use them at just the right time, just so, and I win that game. I always win those games. And I have to admit, my Steel Legion tactics really came along. And what the army helped me appreciate is maneuverability as a concept. I have always been an infantry guard player, but with the nerfs to conscripts, which is a unit which hadn't changed in God knows how many editions, but with the nerfs to conscripts, I was forced to have a look. My tactics didn't work anymore because you know guardsmen and conscripts cost the same point. Obviously, you want to take more guardsmen, but sometimes you just need a big block of 50 dudes, 30 to 50 infantry. And the fact that I couldn't do that anymore really does mess with your infantry tactics. It does. It's really annoying. And how I'd always played, I'd always poo-pooed maneuverability to a certain point, because what I'd always done with my pure infantry is just kept pushing forward no matter what. And this is from 6th, 7th and 8th edition. Kept pushing forward, and whilst you are slow in theory, you are moving forward every turn. You're moving forward 6 inches every turn. So what that means is you actually do gain quite a lot of map control, because it's wave after wave after wave of dudes. So there's no holes in your army like the enemy, blows a chunk in the army. It's not the next wave just goes forward. It just keeps going, and by the end of the game, at the minimum, you're well over the half. You're just over the halfway point, and you're controlling 90%. You're controlling over half the map, which is for objective games pretty much the whole game. But what my Steel Legion helped me appreciate is that art and that satisfaction of being able to go up a flank with a squad and deploy them out and deploy them at just the right time. Maneuverability, rather than I'm going to send 60 infantry that objective, some of them will make it. I'm going to send one squad in a chimera with an officer. That is Bravo team. They're going to take it. And it really gave a lot of my squads, because I keep the squads in the same format. I try and keep the same men together, and what it really, my army developed a lot of personality. Even more so than my Black Templars, my army developed a lot of personality because each squad sergeant was unique. The junior officers leading the lone wolf squads became like the heroes of my army, and yeah, it really taught me the art of maneuverability. Not just sending waves at things, but being able to properly maneuver and hug bits of terrain. Really, I really enjoy using my Steel Legion. And so, last year, reflecting on it, really was a year of expanding my perspective. Learning how Marines work. Marines are the baseline of all 40k, and once you understand how Marines work, you pretty much understand how the whole of 40k works, because they're the baseline. Things go up a bit, things go down a bit, but they're always the constant, the control measure is Marines. So once I understood Marines, that made a huge that gave me such a level of perspective on the rest of 40k that was very, very useful to me as an Imperial Guard player, because I started being able to think of things in terms of, right, how I tell you what, I tell you one thing I learned about Marines is it really made me appreciate how tough they are. And it really helped, and that perspective helped me appreciate how fragile my guardsmen were, and this again led on to my Steel Legion. The amount of times where my Black Templars have run out across open ground and made it to the enemy and killed them, it's every game. It's every game. And as a guard player, I'm there like, I got 60 dudes, they're not going to make it, But there's 60 Marines running at you with bolt, pistol and chainsaw. At least half always make it. people don't really appreciate how tough an army of Marines is. And so I would play games with my Black Templars and be like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm running out there and I'm putting people to the sword, and that's amazing. And then I'd go and play games with my Steel Legion, and I'd be like, oh shit, like, these 10 dudes, no, 10 Marines is enough to hold an objective. These 10 infantry is not enough to hold an objective. So that's what I mean by my Marines giving me that perspective. Because yes, you can know it in your brain, but you have to have that battlefield experience to really be able to draw upon. Yeah, and that was the big thing with me with my Marines. They gave me that perspective. The Steel Legion, like I said, they gave me insights into whole new ways of playing with the Imperial Guard, and whole new concepts which I've never even really bothered with before, like maneuverability. And again, my Steel Legion, it's weird. They're surprisingly fragile. And that's weird because obviously you'd think that my Marines would be less durable than my Steel Legion. But the fact that Steel Legion, the infantry is very weak. Then, you know, infantry is a 60 guardsman. You know, I wipe my ass 60 guards when I'm playing, you know, normal. When I'm playing hybrid guard or foot guard. And also, like, what with the power, when I first started getting into Steel Legion, they were really tough. But by the end of sort of the first year of 8th edition, with the power creep that we'd experienced, the fact that none of my vehicles had an invulnerable save, none of my units had an invulnerable save, really, you started to notice it. Like, everyone and their mums was packing some sort of way of just ignoring my armor, basically, or ignoring my natural toughness. So my Steel Legion, I had to learn a lot of things about positioning as well, because I only have a few platforms with big guns on, so I had to make sure that they had the right firing angles. It's not like my foot guard, again, it gave me that perspective where my foot guard, I could just have overlapping fields of fire, and the enemy's going there, it doesn't matter, I got half a platoon. The enemy's going there, I got a platoon, you know, it doesn't matter. With my Steel Legion, I really did need to have that forward thinking. Like, this is where I'm going to be. My deployment phase as my Steel Legion was always really, really important. So yeah, I learned a lot, and the army is really powerful. And I would say the Black Templars are a solid all-round army. I can take them into any format, and they will perform well. My Steel Legion is really interesting. They are almost unbeatable when you are playing in a normal situation. You know, normal, friendly Friday afternoon game. Their ability to perform they struggle when they go to tournament and start facing tournament lists. Because the weird thing is, a lot of tournament lists are very assault based. People say assault isn't as good as shooting, but tournament lists, you know, a lot of them are really assault based. Think about it, like you have Talos, Custodians. Think about what were really powerful armies in 8th edition going through it. And a lot of them were assault based. You know, shield captains on bikes, for example. So my Steel Legion really struggle with that because they're just getting tied up constantly. But a big thing was me learning how to deal with that. So yeah, they were the big things from 2018. They were the big things. The two main armies that I worked on. I probably played an equal amount of games between my Mordians, my Steel Legion, and my Black Templars. And this leads me on to the next point, is the big thing that I did in 2018 was get out battle reports. Oh my. Oh yeah. So yeah, I think I can tell you if you give me a second, we are up to in 8th edition, we are up to 37 battle reports in 8th edition. 37 8th edition battle reports, I think. So that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. The majority of those were produced in 2018. Or is it 27? It's double figures, put it that way. And a lot of those were produced in 2018 with my camera, the camera. And I hope you guys have noticed the improvement in quality. I've tried a few different things. I tried some with music. I changed the introduction. I tried to change the format up a little bit. But I feel like the format I have for my battle reports is quite well refined now. But this is one thing I could do with a bit of feedback from you guys, which is, do you think I should be doing longer battle reports? At the moment, I try to keep them to about half an hour, and I'm only really covering what happened. This is what happened at the end of my turn. This is what, I don't even do phases. I do end of turn. And when you look at them, some of the more popular, pretty much all of them, and I've had a lot of positive comments about that, saying, "Oh man, it's so good not to come across a fucking 4-hour battle report." And yeah, great. That's really good. That's reinforced that what I'm doing is right. But at the same time, you look at some of the most popular battle reports out there, and they're all really long. In fact, all the successful battle report channels do 2-hour long battle reports. Is that something I should be doing? I don't know. I might try it. Might try one for 2019. Might do a proper long every dice roll battle report to see how it goes. And you guys can tell me if it works or not. So yeah, that's it. I've waffled on for double the amount of time I was going to for 2018. I was going to keep this video at half an hour, but it's probably going to go a bit longer than that now. It was a really good year. I really enjoyed it. It really expanded my collection. Expanded my mind. Learned new tactics. Went to more tournaments. 2018 was a very successful year, and I really hope that 2019 is going to be the same. Speaking of 2019, it's going to be interesting, guys. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting because I've sort of started thinking of 2019 as the year of the heretic. So, what do I mean by that? Well, I feel like 2019, I'm definitely going to be spending a lot of my hobbying time building up my heretic armies. So, principally, my Gene Stealer cult, but also my World Eaters. I've had my World Eaters for a long time, and I have never given them the care that they deserve. Now, before all of you start unsubscribing and Patreoning me and getting the local Inquisitor in, let me explain. I now own 3 fully completed Imperial armies. I have my vast Mordian collection and my 2 medium-sized armies of Steel Legion and Black Templars. And they're all, they're all done. They're all done. They are my completed armies. So they're going to be the armies that are going to be featured in all the battle reports. Especially the Mordians and especially the Steel Legion with a sprinkling of Black Templars. But the Black Templars are kind of I enjoy them just for me. But yeah, it's all the battle reports are still going to be Mordian, Cadians, and Steel Legion. But in terms of my hobbying now, my focus is going to be on the Gene Stealer cult and the World Eater, and Gene Stealer cult first and foremost. Now, that's just because I've got all the Imperial armies that I want for now. I have a Marine army, I have a lot of regular guard, and I have a decent mechanized force. So my hobbying focus is going to be on my Gene Stealer cult, and I think that's going to be really important. Now, the reason I think it's going to be really important is because Gene Stealer cult are coming out in 2019. Early 2019. And I've been using them pretty solidly for a few months, for a while, on and off for a while now. I've perfected some tactics. You guys have, you guys have probably been sick of my various Gene to the Cult tactics that have been popping up recently. But you guys know I have a few contacts within the Inquisition that feed me certain information ahead of time. I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I've told you guys about the conscript nerf, exactly what it was going to be, like 2 or 3 days before it actually happened. Just my credibility on this is established, shall we say. And to give you guard generals out there fair warning, and to give you cult players out there time to rejoice, I've been told that cult is going to be strong. I'm talking real strong. I'm talking tournament strong. Cult is going to be good. Specifically, if you guys want to know, apparently hybrid metamorphs are going to be fucking unreal. I don't know specifics, but apparently they're going to be unreal. So the point is that this is a good time for me to be getting it. I've already got my cult. I'm already established. I'm not going to be a bandwagoner. What I'm really looking for when I'm going to be expanding these armies, I'm going to be playing these armies, is again, it's going to enhance my perspective. The cult is going to be one of those armies that it's going to be very wacky to play against, and you're going to have to know how to beat it. You're just going to have to know that, guys. Standard tactic. You're going to have to be able to draw upon some standard tactics for beating the wackiness of the cult. So I will be doing probably a series of in-depth Know Thy Foe videos on them. Okay, so not only will me building them and playing them allow me to learn about them, so I can develop tactics for them, but I can also develop tactics on how to beat them. Okay, because cult at the moment pre-codex are a real meta-busting army. They are a real meta-busting army. I played a game with my cult against a tournament-winning army. This guy that I was playing against, he knew what he was doing. He's I would say probably a way better player than me under normal circumstances. And the list he was using was tournament-winning. He'd won some Welsh Grand Tournament or something. It was 3 knights, Gilliman, and some Scutari to screen. My cult tore it apart. Now, he was a little unlucky in some ways, but my luck was pretty average. But it just tore it apart. And that's because cult are really weirdly good at destroying knights, because you've got all the mining weapons and you just go in there, you just tear them to pieces. And cult is going to be one of those armies which is going to be meta changing. So it's going to be good that I have that perspective on how to beat it. In the first place, I'm hoping that my channel will be like the one-stop shop on how to beat cult, but also how to play cult. World Eaters are kind of a separate matter. It's just because I've had the army for a long time. I have a lot of models for the army that I just never even... They're all built, but they're not painted worth dick. And I owe it to myself to complete the army. I've always liked the World Eaters. It's time to knuckle down and get them done. And again, it's getting a perspective of another army, of chaos in general. Because I say World Eaters, but I've got Bolter Marines, I've got Berserkers, I've got a Land Raider, I've got Mauler Fiends, I've got a Predator. Yeah, I've got a whole smorgasbord of units for the army. And so I can play any Chaos army that I want pretty much, but I just never do. You guys have seen one Chaos battle report on the whole channel ever? Yeah, I really need to give that army the attention it deserves. So that's what I'm going to do. 2019. Now, they're the first 2 projects. I have also committed, and so far I have kept this commitment as of recording this video, which is 13th of January. I've kept that commitment of painting at least 1 model every day. At least 1 model. That could be 1 guardsman. That could be 1 big tank. 1 model. The average has to be 1 model every day. problem I was having with 2018 was my painting was coming in fits and starts. I would take a week off work and like paint non-stop for a week, but I actually would be really in it because I thought that's really efficient. Actually, it's really inefficient, and it was really burning me out, and it was really bumming me out because I wasn't making anywhere. I said I'd have all my Gene Cyclical and Chaos done by the end of 2018, and I didn't because I kept burning myself out. And I've realised it's much better if I just do 1 to 2 models every single day. So that's what I've committed to now, and so I'm actually making huge progress. Huge progress. I've as of 2019, I've painted a Goliath truck. I've painted 10 neophytes, 10 of my Cadian neophytes, and I have done not washed yet, but I have done the base colours on 10 acolytes. So you can see it's really so much quicker because you say one model, and then by the time you've done one, you'll do another. So the plan is, I say year of the heretic. It's because it sounds better than 6 months of the heretic. So the plan is I want to have all my Gene Cyclical painted in the first 3 months, which should be doable. Easy to be doable. I mean, I have another rock grinder, 10 aberrants, 12 acolytes, and 10 neophytes. So what that's like roughly, basically 30. I have roughly 30 infantry and a rock grinder. Now, admittedly, I do have another 30 infantry coming. I do have another 30. So I have about 60 infantry and a rock grinder, and then we'll see what the codex itself brings. But I think that I should get that all done easily. Considering I'm painting 1 to 2 models every day, I should get that all done easily by the end of March. And then when that's done, I'm going to then spend the next 3 months, I don't even have that many models for my chaos, doing my chaos. And then I'll have those 2 armies completed. And then I have my super secret project, which I can't reveal just yet, guys. But it's going to be an absolute doozy. It's going to be really, really good. So that's what I want you guys to look forward to. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much it. A bit of a long video, bit of a waffly one, but it's just to keep you guys in the loop, let you know what I'm planning. So 2018 was a good year. 2019, it's going to be a great year. You guys just watch. We're going to have. I want to try. It's not work. I want to try and do one battle report at least every 2 weeks. I mean, I'd love to do one a week, but it doesn't always work out that way. But I would love to do one battle report a week. I want to try and get a bit more structure. I want to try and have this day is this, this day is this, this day is this. The thing is, I'm concerned that if I had too much structure, then if I missed a day, I'd like shit myself, and then I'd just miss everything. So I'm still going to keep it quite free form. But yeah, I'm still doing daily. I'm pretty much on daily uploads now. Daily uploads. I'm doing some shorter tactics videos which allow me to do that, but daily uploads pretty much where I'm at, and that's where we want to go for 2019. So we're going to be doing some Gene Cyclical hobbying. We're going to be doing some World Eater hobbying. We're going to be doing some quick tactics. We're going to be doing some more battle reports. We're going to be doing lots and lots of Steel Legion, Black Templars, and Mordian battle reports. And whilst that's happening, I'm going to be building up my cult. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I hope you guys are excited. Big thing now, if you've made it this far, I salute you. Big thing is, do you guys have any feedback? Any constructive criticism? You know, that would be really, really appreciated. What would you like to see? I mean, I've told you everything I'm thinking about doing. Is there something completely obvious that I'm missing? You know, what would you like to see? Where can I improve? You know, or if you're just happy with what I'm doing, then let me know. So thank you guys. Really appreciate you listening to the video. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.